Old man, I'm telling you for the last time, get out of this park. Young police officer Jake Morrison's voice cut through the morning silence like a blade. The 73-year-old park groundskeeper Henry Coleman standing before him didn't flinch. He simply looked at the young officer with calm blue eyes. That silence infuriated Morrison even more. This old man was defying his authority. Riverside Park was one of Boston's most beautiful corners. In the morning hours, it was a meeting point for joggers, families with children in the afternoon, and couples taking romantic walks in the evening. This morning was different. The park had not yet awakened. Dewdrops adorned the grass when this strange encounter was taking place. Henry Coleman was a man with graying hair and a face marked by deep lines. He wore the navy blue uniform provided by the Boston Parks Department, holding a trash pickup stick in his hand. He was collecting trash while checking on the condition of the flowers. He had been doing this job for 30 years, quiet, orderly, harmless to anyone. Jake Morrison was 28 years old, fresh out of the Boston Police Academy, a young police officer trying to prove himself. His muscular body, sharp gaze, and always tense posture caught attention. This morning he was on park patrol in the Back Bay area, and when he saw Henry, something about him rubbed him the wrong way. "Do you understand me, or do you have hearing problems?" Morrison took another step closer. "Entry to the park is prohibited at this hour. What are you doing here?" Henry slowly straightened up, leaning his trash pickup stick beside him. "I'm the park groundskeeper," he said calmly. "This is my job." Morrison grumbled. "Park groundskeeper, at this hour. Look, mister, I'm new here, but I'm not stupid. Park groundskeepers work evenings, keep night watch. You're a suspicious old man picking up trash at 6 a.m. My shift starts at 5 a.m., Henry explained. I water the flowers, collect trash, do general maintenance of the park. If you want, you can call the Boston Parks Department. Don't tell me what to do." Morrison's voice rose. A few early joggers around turned their heads. "I'm a police officer from Boston Police. You're an old man exhibiting suspicious behavior. Show me your ID." Henry quietly took out his wallet from his pocket and handed over his Massachusetts driver's license. Morrison grabbed the ID and examined it. Henry Coleman, 73 years old. Address ... Oh right. You live in Dorchester. Typical officer. Henry spoke while maintaining his composure. I'm just doing my job. I'm not harming anyone. Doing your job." Morrison mocked. "Look at me, old man. This park was built with taxpayers' money. It should be clean and safe. You're creating a security breach by loitering here. Maybe you're dealing drugs. Maybe you're bothering children, who knows?" This accusation deeply hurt Henry. For 30 years, he had protected this park, cared for every flower, every tree, and made it a place where children could play safely, but he said nothing. Morrison continued, "Let me tell you how problematic you elderly people are. You make no contribution to society. You just consume resources. Social Security, Medicare, nursing home costs, all coming from our taxes." A jogger approaching from the other side of the park noticed the situation. Sarah Mitchell, 45 years old, worked as a nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital. She had known Henry for years. Every morning, while running, she would say good morning, Henry, to him. This morning she had also gone out for her routine run, but the scene she saw shocked her. "What's going on here?" Sarah approached. Morrison turned to her. "I'm a cop. This man is exhibiting suspicious behavior in the park. You could be a witness." Sarah looked in amazement. "Which man?" "This is Henry. He's the park groundskeeper. Worked here for 30 years. He's the one who keeps this park running." "How do you know?" "Are you friends with him?" Morrison asked suspiciously. "I jog here every morning. Henry knows everyone, takes care of everyone. Last year, when my daughter fell off her bike here, Henry was the first one to help. He's the guardian of this park. Morrison was annoyed. Ma'am, please don't interfere. This is official police business. The man is acting suspiciously. What kind of suspicious behavior? Sarah insisted. Being here at this hour. Loitering. Picking up trash. Sarah looked with an incredulous expression. Picking up trash is suspicious behavior. That's his job. At this point, Park Supervisor David Thompson approached from the main entrance of the park. 55 years old, he had known Henry for 10 years. He had heard the commotion from afar and decided to come and check. What's happening here? Thompson approached. Morrison explained again, I'm a police officer. This elderly man is exhibiting suspicious behavior in the park. Thompson was surprised. Which elderly man? Henry. He's my most valuable employee. He's worked here for 30 years. Look. Everyone's backing him up. Very suspicious, Morrison stubbornly continued. Officer, Thompson patiently explained. Henry Coleman is this park's most experienced groundskeeper. He works the morning shift, waters the flowers, picks up trash, provides security. He's a very valuable employee. Then why wasn't he in any records? Why didn't anyone mention him? What records? He's a regular employee, fully insured staff member. Morrison sulked. He was beginning to realize he was wrong, but his pride wouldn't allow it. Okay, he might be an employee, but he's too old. He can't do this job. He's creating a security risk. Henry finally spoke. Officer, I've been doing this job for 30 years. During this time, there have been no security issues. Children play safely. Families spend time peacefully. You shut up. I didn't give you permission to speak, Morrison shouted. You're too old. You can't do your job. I want you to leave this park immediately. At this moment, Henry's old wallet in his pocket opened slightly. A plastic card visible from the corner caught attention. Thompson noticed that card. FBI logo. Thompson looked more closely. No, this couldn't be possible. There was no such information in Henry's file, but that logo was very clear. Henry, Thompson asked nervously, can I see that card? Henry closed his wallet. What card? The one in your wallet. It looked like an FBI card. Everyone in the park fell silent. Even Morrison was surprised. Henry remained silent for a long time. Then he slowly opened his wallet and took out an old, yellowed ID card. It read Federal Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent Henry Coleman. Morrison looked with unbelieving eyes. That must be fake. Thompson took the card and examined it. It looked real. Henry, is this ... is this real? Henry bowed his head. When I retired, I decided to leave my past behind. I started a new life. What do you mean? Sarah asked excitedly. Henry took a deep breath. I worked for the FBI from 1975 to 2005. In my last 10 years, I served as a special agent in the Organized Crime Task Force. Silence fell. Morrison's mouth was hanging open. Which cases did you work on? Thompson asked curiously. The Marconi crime family, Volkov Russian mob, El Diablo drug cartel ... double quotes. Henry continued counting. My last case, I solved the biggest money laundering operation in the city. It was a 3-year undercover assignment. Morrison was still in shock. Impossible. You're just a park groundskeeper. After I retired, I wanted a simple life. This park gives me peace. I protect children. I protect nature. It's a different kind of protection, but still protection. Sarah couldn't hide her curiosity. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because that life is over. Now I'm just Henry. Henry the groundskeeper. Thompson looked in amazement. I've worked with you for 30 years. I never had a clue. That's the secret of being a good undercover agent. Henry smiled. Morrison still couldn't accept it. Prove it. Anyone can claim to be an FBI agent. Henry took out his phone from his pocket and dialed the emergency contact number he still used. Agent Rodriguez, this is Henry Coleman. Yes, I'm at Riverside Park. I need an identity verification. He handed the phone to Morrison. Talk. Morrison took the phone. The voice on the other end introduced himself as Agent Rodriguez from the FBI, confirming that Henry Coleman had worked as a special agent for 30 years and had conducted very successful operations. Morrison hung up the phone. His face had turned pale. Agent Coleman, Rodriguez's last words on the phone were ringing in his ears. Is there a problem? Do you need backup? Henry had laughed. No, Miguel, just explaining reality to a young officer who's living in the past. Morrison now didn't know what to do. He had just been disrespectful to an FBI legend, Agent Coleman, he stammered. I didn't know. Henry approached and put his hand on Morrison's shoulder. Jake, when I was your age, I was very ambitious too. There were times when I suspected everyone. But the most important rule of police work is, listen first, judge later. Morrison was in shame. How can I apologize to you? No apology necessary. But learn something. Don't judge people by their appearance. The most ordinary-looking person might have the most extraordinary past. Sarah was still in shock. Henry, why did you choose to work here? Henry looked into the distance. For 30 years, I fought evil. Now I want to protect goodness. This park is innocent. The flowers here, the trees, the children. They're clean. They're real? Thompson asked curiously. What was your most memorable case? Henry's eyes misted up. In 1998, the El Diablo cartel was trying to bring large amounts of cocaine into the city. I infiltrated them for 3 years. I was known as Luis Mendoza. I went so deep that I became one of their most trusted men. What happened then? On the night of the operation, 47 arrests were made. 2.3 tons of cocaine were seized. But when I revealed my identity, there were people among them who had really started to become friends with me. It was very painful. Morrison was even more ashamed now. Agent Coleman, compared to what you've accomplished, I'm nothing. Double quotes. No, Jake. Henry firmly objected. You're standing where I was 30 years ago. You want to make the streets safe. You want to protect innocent people. That's a very valuable feeling. But I was so disrespectful to you. Double quotes, and you learned from it. That's also valuable. Sarah continued her questions. What was your most dangerous moment? Henry thought. In 2003, we were trying to catch Alexei Volkov, leader of the Russian mob. He had learned my identity. One evening, when I was in his nightclub with my fake identity, he cornered me. He pointed his gun and said, "You're an FBI agent. What did you do?" I looked at him and said, "Alexei, if I were an FBI agent, would I be drinking in your club right now? Would I be that stupid?" I said it so convincingly that he laughed and lowered his gun. Then, 2 hours later, the special team came and arrested everyone. When Alexei saw me, he was shocked. "You really were an FBI agent," he said. I said, "Yes, but I'm also a very good actor." Everyone was impressed. Morrison asked hesitantly, "Agent Coleman, do you have any advice for me to become a better police officer?" Henry smiled. "Jake, the most important thing is patience. Try to understand people. Every criminal has a story. Every innocent person has value. And never judge someone by their appearance or age. I learned that today." Morrison was ashamed. "The hard way, that's the best way to learn." Henry laughed. "Now, would you like to help me water the flowers?" "I could use an assistant." Morrison was surprised. You'd let me help you." Jake, 30 years ago. A veteran detective gave me a chance when I made a similar mistake. Today, I'm giving you that same chance. Morrison smiled and took off his police cap. "I'd be honored. Agent Coleman. Just call me Henry." The old man laughed. "Agent Coleman is retired. I'm just a groundskeeper now." As the sun began to rise and illuminate the park, young police officer Jake Morrison was learning much more from former FBI agent Henry Coleman. He was learning to water flowers, pick up trash, and, most importantly, never to judge people by their appearance. Meanwhile, Thompson, Sarah, and other park visitors had also become witnesses to this extraordinary story. Henry Coleman had suddenly revealed his secret identity of 30 years, but the reason wasn't ego or boasting. It was just so that a young police officer could learn a lesson. That afternoon, as Morrison was writing his report, he was lost in thought. Henry Coleman's story had taught him a lot. The most important lesson was this: real heroes aren't always visible. Sometimes the most ordinary-looking people have the most extraordinary pasts. Henry felt peaceful as he returned home that evening. He had been forced to reveal his 30-year secret, but he felt it was the right decision. Maybe he had created a positive change in young Morrison's life. The next morning, Morrison came to the park early. He was waiting for Henry. As they watered the flowers together, Morrison asked, "Henry, don't you ever regret it, working here instead of your FBI career?" Henry smiled. "Jake, success isn't just measured by rank or salary. For 30 years, I tried to make the world safer. Now I'm doing the same thing by keeping this little park safe and beautiful. The scale is different, but the purpose is the same." That's a very deep perspective. It comes with age and experience. Henry laughed. "You'll learn too." In time, that day, Morrison had received not just gardening lessons from Henry, but life lessons, and this lesson would be a guide that he would use every day in his future police career. Park visitors now looked at Henry differently. They knew he wasn't just a park groundskeeper, but also an American hero. But Henry didn't want this attention at all. He just wanted to continue doing his job, protecting the park. This story also became a legend at the Boston Police Department. It became a cautionary tale told to young police officers. Never judge anyone by their appearance. You never know who the person in front of you might be. This is how Henry Coleman's story ended. A former FBI agent, now a simple park groundskeeper. But both serve the same purpose: protecting people, making the world a safer place. And Jake Morrison, that young police officer, became a completely different person after this experience. He never forgot the lessons he learned from Henry, and over the years, became one of the most respected officers in the Boston Police Department. Sometimes real heroes appear in the most unexpected places, in the most unexpected disguises. Henry Coleman was the perfect example of this.